Hello and welcome to episode 74 of PhotoKitchen. I'm your humble host, MD Welch, and today on the menu, we have gone into the photo studio because we need the room to test out what size strip bank might be best for you in your particular photography, and how the type of lights that you use in that strip bank could impact the results that you get. Now, before we go into strip banks and why to use them and all of that other kind of stuff, I do need to make a few declarations. I have done work for both of the company's products I'm about to talk about. I am going to talk about strip banks in general, but I do want to point out that I have done work for ProPhoto, who has that strip bank right there, a 1x4. I have been sponsored by them. They've done workshops with me, given me gear for those workshops, and also I have done work with photographers that have hired me for their shoots to do BTS and video. Shamera, which is behind me here in the very large softbox, I have done a lot of video work for them. I've been paid by them, and I've actually done video on these particular strip banks. Now, neither company knows about these videos, so therefore they have no impact. They're not reviewing anything like this. And more importantly, I'm just reviewing the concept of the different size of strip banks. Obviously, the type of lighting that you're going to use, the company that makes your particular strip banks, there's going to be a little bit of variation there. But we're really looking at size, and again, how the lights that you use or put in them will impact the actual light coming out of it. Now, what is a strip bank, you might be asking? It's just a narrow softbox. Traditional sizes are 1x3, 1x4. And the ProPhoto over here, that's a very traditional size of 1x4. And that's their newest style of softbox. I'm not a big ProPhoto softbox fan, but they have won me over with their new hinge system where the rods stay attached to the ring and it just opens and closes like a clamshell. It is a dream to use, one of my favorite light systems out there, and I can't say enough good things about it. Now, I can't also say enough good things about the 2x7 beast that Shamera or Chimera, and by the way, I've done work for them. They say Shamera, I say Chimera, and we get along just fine. But this beast behind me, this is the largest strip box that's currently available on the market right now. I think most companies stop at 6 feet, and when I'm referring to the actual size of the strip bank, I'm referring to the front diffusion panel, not the actual opening, which is a little bit larger and taller in both of these strip banks' cases. This is actually it's about 2 feet by 7 feet tall. It is a massive strip bank and nobody comes close to it. Now, I've used that particular strip bank to light full-length portraiture of professional wrestlers, fitness competitors, and I also love the size of the strip bank for lighting just head-to-toe portraits when I don't know the size of people coming in. I use them for headshots because I don't have to change the height of the light to accommodate somebody who's maybe in a wheelchair or maybe a little bit shorter or somebody who's a little bit taller or extremely tall. Sometimes I'm photographing headshots at colleges and I'll get students of all sizes, and every now and then I get somebody who should or is playing on the basketball team, and those strip banks make life a lot easier because they don't have to change the size. But they're big and they're heavy, and that's why something smaller like a 1x4 really comes into play. But what do you give up or what do you gain by having a smaller or larger softbox or strip bank when you are working in normal lighting conditions? What does those lights actually look like? Well, fortunately, I had my friend Grant in the studio recently, and I just decided to use both strip banks on either side of them to test out how the light looked, which led to a very interesting conclusion and also a very interesting discovery that a lot of us already know, and that is the type of lights that you're going to use in these light modifiers have a huge impact. If you look at the light on Grant, you will notice that there's not a lot to notice. There's not a lot of difference here. Both strip banks look like they're producing about the same quality of light. And when we isolate the 1x4 and then the 2x7, you're not seeing a massive difference. There is a difference to be sure, but it's not hitting you in the face, especially considering how much larger each strip bank is. Now, what I found, or what I realized after Grant left, and that's why I've had to now do a test with our lovely mannequin in the background, is that I was using a ProPhoto light. And ProPhoto and other companies have kind of adopted this front-facing light or flat-facing light, and that means that the tube is inside a built-in reflector, which means it sometimes doesn't fill up the complete light modifier as much as an exposed tube like this ProPhoto head that I have here. So the type of light modifier that you have is also going to impact the type of strip bank that you're using. So if you're buying a massively sized strip bank like the 2x7 and you're not using an exposed tube, you're really not leveraging the light correctly. You're not getting everything that you have actually paid for. And strip banks are pretty expensive, and the 2x7 is significantly expensive because it's such a big light source. So you might need to change your lighting depending on how large that you go. But if you actually compare them when we do the exposed tube or the bare bulb tube, you will see the 2x7 does a very good job of lighting the entire height of the mannequin. The light is even from the top of the head down to the bottom of the foot. And that's why the 2x7 is great, again, for portraiture, especially if you're doing athletes or anything like that. Also, if you just need a big, long strip bank for like automotive photography, the 2x7 is phenomenal. But the 1x4 or 1x3s are great sizes as well. And the benefit of that is, regardless of what light that you use in there, you're pretty much getting the exact same result. 1x4s, 1x3s, even 1x5s are very easy to set up, and especially 1x3s and 1x4s are super light. You don't need a heavy duty stand unless you're doing any sort of booming. They're easy to modify, they're easy to get in and out, and in the case of this Pro Photo strip bank, it's easy to set up and tear down because of that hinge system. So the 1x4 is very versatile. The 2x7 though gives you better light by far. But do you really need that? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Is the quality of light that you're going to lose by using a 1x4 in a full-length portrait, does it really matter? Do you care that the bottom leg or the bottom foot has a light fall off and it's not even from the head to the toe? Maybe or maybe not. Do you need to shoot a lot of different people and then reposition the light every time because you need the highlight lights to change, and the 2x7 would save you that, but the 1x4 is going to cause you to do that work? Is that a big deal? I'm not too sure. But the 1x4 is definitely more versatile in setup and teardown. And it's also great for doing underlighting and overlighting. And I'm privileged to have 2 of each version. And I'm here to tell you, in the last few months, I use the 1x4s a lot more because I could just use them in a lot more ways. I could use them again as an underlight for butterfly lighting. I also like to have them come above or behind seamless paper and be a great rim light. The 2x7 is such a big light. It is so heavy. It requires a lot of extra work and a lot of extra grip to make that light safe. But again, when I'm doing full-length portraits, when I don't want to change the height of those lights, the 2x7 is a dream. But keep in mind, regardless of what strip banks that you're using, the lights that you're going to put inside of them, or at least the type of the lights that you're going to put inside of them, are going to have a huge impact on the quality of the light. Don't use something like a B1, a B110, or something like that, any sort of front-facing or flat-facing tube light like this, and put it in a big strip bank and expect to get as good of results as you would from a bare bulb. So keep that stuff in mind. Take a look at some of these shots, see how the light is falling off. Understand, of course, that a 1x4 or 1x3 is also going to be far more budget friendly, and there's a lot more companies out there that make that. Shamara is the only company out there that makes a 2x7, at least at the time of this recording. So if you need to go large, it's kind of your only place to go, which they absolutely love. Hey, speaking of love, how about we talk about like, and how about you hit that like button down at the bottom of the video or bottom of your screen. And also, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have, thank you so much for doing that. And of course, share this with anybody who's maybe thinking about investing or spending money on a strip bank. And until next time, I'm MD Welch, wishing you all the best from, again, another photo studio.